All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started because I know that we're already on Facebook Live, even though it's kind of weird and there's a delay. I just want to welcome everyone and say that it's so good to have you here on our Enter Shaolin webinar. This is a members Q&A, but we decided to also let our Facebook family, whether you're a member or not, be able to watch this and get access to it. Sifu Larry is here. He's a little under the weather, so he's not going to say hi. And if there's any pain being inflicted, it's going to be on me today. So if you're expecting to see Sifu Larry hurt, it's not happening. Sorry about that.
Hurting.
He's already hurting, yes. But he is going to be manning the Facebook page, so make sure to say hi to him on Facebook if you're on Facebook. And if there's any questions, he's going to send them over to me, and so you'll be able to get access to that just fine. And yeah, so we're going to have a great webinar. And while you're thinking about your questions that you have, we do have some questions that were sent in via email. So I'm going to go ahead and head over there and we will get some awesome questions going on. So this first one is from Andrew, and I'm actually going to address this because he basically wants a walkthrough on the site. So for those of you who are not members, it's going to be kind of cool because you can get to see what's going on. He's basically wondering how to search the site. So I'll explain this. I know we explained this in some other webinars, but for those of you who have not heard this before, the way our site is built, we have different plugins that do different things. So for our courses, or just for the layout of our actual training in the training hall, we use something called WP courseware, and basically that allows us to do different things. If we want to drip feed it, we can drip feed it like we do in the Ngo Dac Na 101 course, or like we do in the training hall. It just helps us to organize the content and make it easier for you to access and mark it complete and different things like that. So with that, we're not able, because that stuff is private and it's behind a private wall, it doesn't connect with our search for WordPress. So when you search our search box, it's only searching the free content that's on our site. Now, it is something that we are looking into to get fixed for the future, because it would be really awesome for you just to be able to use the search and be able to go like, I don't know, leg takedown or whatever, and be able to find it a little bit easier. So we are definitely aware of that, and we definitely do want to make it as simple as possible. But right now we have some other things that are a little bit more pertinent that cost money that are on the table. And when we can, we're going to get to that as well. And one of our members, Bruce, did reach out to us and is willing to help us with that too. He's a programmer. So we are going to be in touch with him and see what we can do to figure out maybe getting this done a little bit faster. But I'm going to show you a way that you can search, and this works for any website, not just Enter Shaolin. I've known how to do this since high school. It's a really great way if you're like reading a long paper and you're just trying to get to the one point that you were trying to find in the article and all this other stuff. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'm going to share my screen with you. Let me make my screen a little bit bigger, because otherwise you're not going to really be able to see much at all.
And while she's doing that, for anyone who's capable of doing programming and you want the help, we're more than happy to have you. We would appreciate any help that can help improve the site, to help it make it easier for all you guys, as well as us. So, invitation out there for anyone who would like to help.
Absolutely. So you should be able to see my screen right now, everyone. So hopefully you can see it. I'm showing it on my side. And this is just the basic thing. So when you're a member, you log into the site, it automatically takes you to this page, which is your training page, or my training page rather. If you have never watched the welcome video, I get this all the time. People are like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. Like, where's my training? Where's this? Where's that? Guess what? In that welcome video, we explain not only how Enter Shaolin got started, but how to actually use the site. So I don't know, it might be advantageous to actually just, watch the video, but it would help me not have so much customer service, and it'd help those people that are confused not be confused anymore. And that's why we have it there. The welcome video there is there not just to welcome you to the site, but to help you be able to access it and use the site. So as you go through it, I'm not going to really cover all the different stuff that's here, but I'm going to go ahead and go to the training hall because that has a lot of stuff. So let's say I'm in Wing Chun and I want to know how to get to the jong stuff, which someone actually had a question about, why don't we have any jong stuff? We have tons of jong stuff, so I'm not sure what that's all about, but I'll address that when I get to that question. So all I would do is, if I'm on a computer, like a PC, I would press the control button plus the F button. So control and F together at once, okay? If I'm on a Mac, I'm going to hit command and the F key at one time. So what happens is a little search box pops up. Now, depending on what browser you're on, it might be at the top of your browser, or it might be at the bottom. It'll either be at the top right or the bottom left. That's been at least my experience with the different browsers that I use. It's either at one or the other. And then I'm gonna just type in jong, because that's what I'm looking for. And look what it does. It highlights everything, and it lets me know that there's 46 total items that have the word jong in it. And so what I can do is, like, let's say there was a specific lesson I was looking for, I could hit enter, and it's just gonna literally take me to every instance of the word jong. So I know that's not the most perfect system in the world, but it does help you be able to search the different pages. And since we have a lot of content in Wing Chun or Ngo Dac Na and things like that, it does make it a little bit easier. So like, let's say I was looking for kick, stuff related to kicks. Well, now I can just hit enter and I'm like, oh, takedown for a front kick. Bam, that's what I was looking for. And I can click on that and now I can go watch it. So I know that's not the most perfect thing, but it definitely is a workaround that makes it a little bit easier to navigate the site. So I really hope that that helps, Andrew, and I hope it helps some of you as well that are members of the site be able to use the site a little bit better. So there you go. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen. And if anyone, Melanie, I am shocked at how many people don't actually know how to use that. I know a lot of shortcuts. I don't know if it's just because I was, raised around computers from middle school on, because I'm a genius, or what. But I've always looked at shortcuts and stuff just to make my time more efficient and faster. So, but yeah, tons of people don't know how to do that. It's super simple and it works on any website. So you can even use it like on Facebook or whatever. There may be things that you could do if you're on a tablet or a phone. I'm not sure. You could just Google, phone, how to find stuff fastly, shortcuts or whatever, and maybe you'll be able to find something on there. I have never researched that because I usually prefer to do my research on my computer. So there's that. I hope that helps, Andrew, and I hope that helps some of y'all. So, all right. Next. All right, Jason. There seems to be much contradiction of the methods of conducting the Silentau form out there. Some trains of thought state to practice the form in a very slow, relaxed manner to allow proper chi flow and mental awareness. Hold on, sorry, it got cut off here. I'm not sure why it's not resizing. Give me a moment, family, while I fix my screen so I can see the rest of this brother's stuff. It is not doing that for some reason. Okay, so he basically wants to know, why in some it's more slow, it's about the chi flow and the mental awareness, and then why in other sections it's more about dynamic tension. Now we do both.
I can answer that for you.
Yeah.
It's like when you work out. There are workouts that you lift heavy and low reps, and then there's those where you lift high reps and you lift low weights, and there's somewhere in between. We believe in training at all of them. It's not one thing that's the key. All around awareness is the key. It's like saying, I'm just going to be a striker, and like how MMA's thoughts are. You can't just be a striker anymore. You got to have grappling or anti-grappling skills. You have to be an all-around well person. Training the Silentau, in all your forms, actually, we do 3 levels of training: slow and smooth, so you can teach your muscles how to naturally move that way instinctively. Then you have to do tension to teach your body how to move under pressure. And then you do explosive to teach your body how to create power and snapping for speed and accuracy through the third part. So we do it in 3 methods. There's no one way you should do it. That's why people have views and say, oh, it has to be done this way. They're not wrong. They're right. They're wrong into saying that it's the only way.
Right.
The only way. Now, it's one aspect of it. Just like it's like saying doing the form is the only way to learn how to combat. It's not. Form is just a method. It's one key to it, but it's not the answer to all answers. So doing the form very different ways is very good. And I don't know if anybody's been a member of the videos and have seen them. I always do variations of my forms. Like sometimes tonsils, they say, "Oh, bring it out here." I do different variations. I teach my muscles to learn how to handle the variation, because you cannot always bring your hands, let's say, 2 feet from your body. You're never always going to connect the 2 feet. Sometimes it might be 1.5 feet. Sometimes it might even be a foot. Maybe it's only 2 inches. But I practice the range. And, That's why you have Chun. Chun is the close quarter range, and Bilji is very tight range, and Song Tao is more for the long range. So you have different ranges, and I always do variations. My hands, sometimes I'll do like this, sometimes I'll do like this, and as long as the principle's right, it's fine. You don't have to, as long as it's kind of like someone will say 5 + 5 = 10. Yeah, but so does 6 and 4. So I'll practice 6 and 4 to equal 10. I'll practice 9 and 1 to equal 10. But I never will practice 9 + 8 to equal 10 because that's breaking the rules. So as long as you keep to the principle, as long as you adhere to the energy principles that you learn, it doesn't matter. You can variate it, and you should variate it. You should never be stuck in one way. The problem with one-way training is if the person doesn't meet that criteria and how you're intercepting them, and it changes, you're done. Kind of like doing a tandar, like people do here. They go like this, and then a hook punch comes, and if they arc it slightly, it goes right through. And that's the reason why, because you're stuck in the thought that he's going to punch this specific way, and no punch is always the same. Different people punch different ways. Different sizes have an effect. Long range, long arms, short range, short arms. 180 pounds, 280 pounds, 110 pounds, they're all going to be different. The arcing, their punch is like a boxer's punch or a Wild Street punch, Superman punch. They're all variations. So the idea is to know how to get your principle up and then learn to adapt. That's why you must adapt, because without the ability to adapt, you're going to be taken because you're banking everything. You're putting all your eggs in one basket, and that it's going to be this way, and it's not always going to be that way.
Right. And, just a kind of a side comment on that, we've dealt with people where we met in different martial arts where they just practice one very specific way, and they'll even go, okay, I want you to punch me just like this so they can pull off their move. But and the reality is if you're out in the street or whatever, there's going to be variables. So you have to prepare your body to expect the unexpected because you just don't know. And Jason said that he does train in both. So good job, brother. Absolutely keep doing that because that will help you be more well-rounded. Period. End of story. Awesome stuff. All right, let's see what else we got while I'm waiting for questions from everyone else. Oh, real quick, I just want to give a shout out to everyone that is on the webinar. We have Caleb, Catherine, Greg, Ate, John, Karthik, Melanie, Pam, Richard, Rick, Russ, Sifu Larry, of course, Terry, and Wayne. So thank you all for being on. Really appreciate it.
And CJ, Jamie, and myself.
Hi. All right, let me see here. We have Steven. Okay, so Steven sent this in a while ago. And first we were going to cover it as the Sifu's Corner, but we decided we were going to do it on this week's webinar instead because Sifu is actually going to be leaving and going back overseas.
In an hour and a half.
Really soon. So we're not going to go over today. Just so you know, we're ending promptly on time at 12 o'clock. He wanted to know, he says, my granddaughter is only 4. And he wants to know when he can start training her on things she could do to help protect herself from bullies or child abduction.
Oh, am I supposed to answer? No, okay. It all depends on the child's mentality. When
Right.
I teach people come in, like, what's the youngest you teach? And I say, I teach from 5. I can even teach from 4. It depends on the child's mentality to learn. If you're teaching a kid that just wants to do this,
Right.
then they're not ready. Even if they're 5 or 6, if they can't get the focus and they can't learn, they don't need to understand the high levels. They need to understand to mimic what you're doing. Because at that age, they're so young, they can't understand and conceive what the principles you're trying to say. So you have to teach them how to just move during muscle memory. That's
Right.
what you have to do. So at that age, it depends on their focus, really. And you teach them certain ways, like, if, for example, you're getting grabbed, you teach them just like bring your hand up and just go like this and hit the wrist. Just simple, basic muscle memory moves. They don't need to understand it because at that age, most of them, now there's some special smart kids out there, but most of them will not comprehend what you're doing. They can just mimic it. And so that's really what you're looking for in a child that's very, very young. That fact that they can hear what you say, listen to what you say, and then be able to do it.
Right.
Without losing that focus. It's just like, conditioning is really one of the best ways to train them at a young age and teach them muscle memories. Like, for example, she grabs my wrist, and you teach them just go like this and then go like this. You teach them just the basic move, go up with your hand, down with your hand. So that way when they grab, they get used to it. They just start, doing stuff like that. You teach them muscle memory for simple movements. You can't obviously teach them complexities at that young age. You have to build them up to that. And that depends on the child.
Right. And I think traditionally in martial arts, usually the age is 7, over in China and stuff that they get started. But obviously there's certain things that you could do. First of all, if the child is 4, they shouldn't be, by themselves on a regular basis. So that's part of, as this is a granddaughter, grandfather thing, making sure that there's always adult around that child that is someone that and know will protect your child and stuff, to make sure that they don't get taken or abducted. Teaching the kids basic skills, like, the whole stranger danger, like don't go up to strangers unless like they're a police officer and you need help, things like that. And just teaching them to be aware of their space and to not go to places by themselves, and to always have friends with them or an adult that they trust and know. So it's just basic things. And like Sifu said, you can work on some basic stuff. I would say, teaching them the spots on the body that are the most sensitive, like, going for the eyes, going for the groin, things like that would also be helpful. So it's never too young, I guess, to really train. I know Sifu Larry was kind of training his girls pretty much since they were babies. So there's definitely stuff you can do with them. It's just a matter of figuring out things that are quick, easy, and simple, and the most efficient. And we definitely have stuff like that in the site. Anything else?
Well, the best defense for the children is you.
Yep.
And don't put it on them to think that they're going to be able to handle themselves. Because honestly, at 4 years old, they're not going to be able to handle themselves against a guy who's 20.
Right, they can just like literally bear hug them and just grab.
Yeah, and they're not going to be able to do anything. You are the best defense. So just make sure that you're the one that's there for them. Because you can't put that on a 4-year-old child.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that all on a 4-year-old child. That's a lot.
Not to say that you can, like I said, start the basic fundamentals.
Absolutely.
Teach them all the stuff, and hopefully it'll ingrain with them as they get older. It is something that's going to be part of them, and they'll be able to handle. Yeah. About at 4 years old, come on. What 4-year-old kid's going to stop a 25-year-old guy from grabbing them and taking them?
Right. And then as far as like the child bullying thing, just teaching your child to have boundaries and stuff, and to be able to establish self-esteem and different things like that will help them with that. Because if they're being bullied, they're just not going to take it. You know what I mean? And I don't know about like if they're going to school or not, but like depending on their school or whatever, my personal rule of thumb is with my child, as this is how I was raised as well, is if someone puts their hands on you, then you have a right to defend yourself. And so that's what I think. So hope that helps. And we're going to go to Irene. Hello, you three. I hope you're all fine. Yes,
we're fine.
Are. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I've been wanting to ask you about Qigong practices. I bought some books and they suggest different approaches. Of course, there's always different opinions for everything. Some say the best hour of practice is very early, but you are not supposed to have an empty stomach. At the same time, you can't make Qigong before 2 hours of having eaten. Some say you should be facing north, others say south, and even the east version as fans. If raining practice is forbidden outdoors, blah, blah, blah. What are your suggestions?
South, even the east version has fans? I don't understand that. Like fans, like little fans blowing your face, or fans like in...
I'm thinking fans of that particular practice.
Listen, anytime you practice is always going to help you better, as long as you do it right. So all the stuff that people say, it's their view of saying that's the best way you can get benefits from it. But again, to me, I practice all the time, so it doesn't matter. Because if you're talking about your energy and your qigong, then obviously quiet, serene. You don't want distractions. You want things that take away your ability to feel your body. If you're hearing loud noise and it makes you jump like that, then that's not good for your body, obviously. But the idea is get to a point where you shut everything out.
Right.
And that's all depends on you. So to me, I train in the rain. I train when it's bright. I train when it's dark. I train anytime that I had availability. So it doesn't matter as long as you do it right. That's the key. Feeling the energy more than just doing the energy. And I tell my students all the time, don't just play the form just to do the moves and say, okay, I got to do my form today. I'm just doing it just to get the moves and get it done. You have to get to a point where in that moment, time just kind of like doesn't exist. You're just feeling that. And you want to feel your form. You're not trying to do your form. For a lot of people, they don't get it until they get it. Once they feel like, now I understand. It's like someone who was born blind, teaching them colors. They don't know colors because they have nothing to refer to. Right. It's the same when you're feeling your energy. once you feel it, then you understand. But until then, you just say, okay, I'm going to go by your word. You know, I see for Larry did the thing. You know, he just trusted me. I said, listen, you're just going to have to do it. You're just going to have to practice until you feel it. One day, he was like, I felt my energy. I felt my chi. And then I tried to get it, and it went away. It's because then he started trying to mimic the move. Right.
Like, how did I do that?
Right. And I said, listen, you got to get rid of your thoughts. You got to empty your mind and just let your body feel. And that's the best time you do it. You know, any professional in any sport of any kind of physicality, they feel what to do. They don't think they'll go, okay, a biker who's riding a bike, cutting a corner, doesn't go, okay, I'm traveling 150 miles an hour. I get this corner, the bike weighs this. He doesn't calculate everything. Right, he feels everything. Movement in the moment. When you practice in your Qigong, when you do everything, it's all about the feel. It's really, that's the most important thing that you need. Whether you eat, now obviously if you eat and you ate full, you're like, oh my gosh, I ate too much, you can't, that's affecting you. If you ate a light meal and it didn't bother you, you know, go ahead and practice. I never found the harm. I practice like that. I eat and I'll practice, and it doesn't ever bother me. And it, you know, if you're one person with a weak stomach and does eat and it's like, oh my gosh, then don't do it. Everybody has differences. So you got to go based on what you can do and what you can't do. And you got to find out for yourself. Some people can eat, you know, have a big meal and then do the Qigong. It's like, oh, I feel better when I eat and I do it. And other people are like, oh, I feel sick when I do it. Everybody's different, and you got to find what works for you. Absolutely. There's no one answer. That's why you have everybody giving you answers. They're giving you answers because that's works for them. Preference. That's not necessary for everybody. So they're only going to give you what they feel is best for them. And if you're like, I teach everybody and I see variations. I have to do variations. Some people are like so thick in their arms up, they can't bring the arms in the center. So like, so how do I do it if my arms are so big? I said, then you have to turn your body. So you can't get to the center, you have to turn your center. So you have to find what works for you to make it work for you. Yeah. And everybody's going to give you suggestions, but that's suggestion based on their experience for works for them. Yeah. Doesn't necessarily mean it works for you.
Yeah, some of Sifu Larry and my personal favorite times to do Qigong are like sunrise, sunset. If you're at the beach, like along with the tides, that's an awesome feeling. That's really fun. But obviously, I can't be at the beach every day. That doesn't mean I'm not going to practice my Qigong. And sometimes doing it in the morning with the sunrise is not very convenient for me. So it's just really a matter, Irene, of finding what times work for you. And if it has to be different on some days, that's okay. Don't stress it, because the practice is what's going to make you better, not the specific time, or if the moon is just right, or whatever the case may be.
And the idea is, if to me, like if you're going to pick times, the best time is like in the morning and the night. And the reason why in the morning, because it helps build up your energy, it helps you have some energy for the day. And at night, any stress that you feel,
helps you relax,
it helps you relieve it and take it off. Yeah. So those are the best times for you as a person. If you want to go, well, what's the best time to train? Those two are the best times because, like I said, for what I said,
wake up.
It helps build up your energy, but then at the night, it takes away the stress that you might build up in your life, in your day. Mm-hmm. So, you know.
Absolutely. Good stuff. All right. So let's see here.
You can answer that one.
Pam says, thanks for the explanation, for using the chat and Q&A. You're much welcome, Pam. Rich says, hi. Hey. John says, in Tai Chi, you did a video for the whole first third, which is very good, but you never did the video for the whole second part. So I have to go back and complete the video, which is very long. Yes, we are going to do a whole version of that one. We are so not done with filming, family, so don't stress it. If it's not there yet, it will be there. It's just a matter of us getting through all the different stuff. And we try to, when we do our filming, we do try to do a variety of different things to fill in each spot. So it does take a little bit longer to get everything done.
Yeah, and when it's cooler outside, we'll do the second, third, you know.
So maybe when he gets back, if it's not too blazing hot, or maybe we can do it like around sunset or something like that. Yeah. That might be good. Or
on an empty stomach.
On an empty stomach, yes, facing east. No, maybe south. No. Mel says, I practice my Qigong when I find I need to calm down. That's
it works too. That's why I said do it at night to take the stress off. But if you could do it anytime, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Good stuff. All right, let's see here. Oh, we got some more questions. Karthik says, by the way, we have 15 minutes Qigong and Kung Fu class, and it's been almost 3 to 4 weeks now we started Qigong. It's hard for me to tell now to relate the energy Qi and move the ball from various points. How long does it normally take to get the feel? I think that really depends on the person.
It took me 2 seconds. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody's different.
Yeah. So don't sweat it. If you're not getting it yet, it just means it's gonna take a little bit more time for you. So don't freak out if you're not feeling it yet. It will come. Just keep doing it. By the way, do we need to follow an order for Qigong and Neigong? Meaning
No,
like one
no,
before the
no.
other?
Actually, you don't need to follow order. The order's just set. If I pick, a certain number of way to do it, and you're gonna be like, why this way? Why that way? It doesn't matter. It's just we picked. You have to pick. It's like eating a sandwich. You eat on this end or that end or in the middle, or this end. What's that commercial? How do you eat a Reese's? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It just whatever works for you. The Qigong are all designed to help build up energy specifically, so it doesn't matter as long as you do it. It's good. So there's no order. It's just we have an order just for you to practice and follow through if you want to. But if you
can switch them up.
you can switch it up. If your legs tight, your back's tight, you just want to do the side-to-side bend overs. You don't necessarily have to do circle the ball. If you're going to do a specific thing for a specific reason, each one hits points in your body for a certain reason.
Yeah. So feel it out, listen to your body. There's sometimes when I'm doing my Qigong that some of the exercises I do longer than others just because that's what my body's telling me to do. So don't get stuck into the box or whatever and thinking everything has to be a specific way. Just listen to your body, feel it out, and you'll get it. Sifu Larry sent over something from Facebook. Ian wants to know, or Ian, sorry, Ian, do you use tendon activation in forms like, oh, hold on, sorry, this jumped on me because someone sent a question. Where did that go? Okay. Do you use tendon activation of forms like Sam, Chen, etc.?
We of course we emphasize on tendons. Our focus is developing the tendons as our main key to learn how to use energy. So yeah, we always do tendon exercises. The explosive exercises you do in Som Tao, where you learn to explode and you relax and you learn to create this. That's developing tendons and also develops stabilizations in your movement. So yeah, tendons is absolutely the most important thing over bad English, sorry, is the more important thing over your muscles. Muscles are good, but they're not your key to explosion. They're not your key to control. They're your key to drive force, but they're not your key to keep it stable, and they're not your key to keep the focus in there. Your tendons are. So yeah, we emphasize on tendons all the time.
Melanie says, I know that Qigong helps to lower blood pressure, but I need to at least temporarily raise mine today because I'm trying to donate blood this afternoon. Last week, my blood pressure was too low. Will breathing faster raise it?
Exercise does.
Yep.
So
some
yeah.
like cardio.
One thing that I can show you that you want to increase body pressure is just take your hands, go like this, take a deep breath, and then push your hands and push your breath. That's going to force your body to create a lot of pressure. So you're like, you see my face get red? I'm about to pass out. No, but doing that will increase your body's pressure. Absolutely. Yeah, you can do things like that.
Yeah,
take your breath.
Even like doing some sprints if your body is able to do sprinting, like sprint a couple times around your house or something.
Yeah, well, if you can't physically run, if you're not capable,
you can do that.
Just.
Yeah. So while you're waiting to get blood, do that while you're sitting there. People are probably gonna look at you weird.
Passing out for too much pressure on my head.
I'm gonna need to do some qigong, lower the pressure. So Pam says, my question is in the last part of the form. Sorry guys, every once in a while when someone puts a new thing in, it moves it on me, so I apologize. I think it's called take off or freezing hands. When I did this technique with my son, it worked great, but when I tried to do it with my cousin, it didn't. Could you do it or let Jamie do it so I can see what might be doing wrong?
I don't know what takeoff is.
Which form are you talking about, Pam? Because that will help us figure out what you are talking about. So I'm going to hold off on that and wait to hear back from you. If you could put it in the chat, that would be great.
Just to let you know, there's nothing called take off in your form, in your Tai Chi, if that's what you're talking about. The Tai Chi.
Yeah, I'm not, right. So if you tell me.
Or freezing hand.
Or freezing hand. So let us know if you could maybe go on the site and like double check what the lesson is and then send me that. That would be fabulous too. And I will wait for that and I'll move on to this next one.
Yeah, if you can find the term, I can know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. And I can probably figure it out without watching you. I can find out what most people do.
Absolutely. So John says, in Tai Chi on the first third, you did the video for the whole first third, which is very good. Oh wait, I already answered that. Yeah. Sorry about that. Bing, that's done. All right. Karthik, good morning, folks. Good morning to you too. Do you have plans to conduct any Wing Chun or push hand seminar close to New Jersey?
Yes.
Yes.
They're in the plans.
Right. We are going to be doing one in Washington, D.C. in September, and I will be putting out more information in the Friday update. So
why don't you tell them that since we're here and they're watching?
since we're here, oh,
Yeah, might as well just let 'em know real quick
hold on.
about
Let
what
me
it's all about.
pull up the data for y'all. So I will have a link for people to start registering. We didn't get quite 20 people, but I believe that if we, make the plans that God will provide, and there was enough interest where I feel confident we can move forward with that. So we are going to say it's all systems go. So if you want to come visit us and train with us, we're going to be in Washington, D.C. in September. I'm going to get you the
And we
date.
want to just keep it around 20. So,
Right.
if we
Yeah.
want to keep it small, we don't want to be so big where nobody gets personal
I would think
attention.
the max would be 25 that we could handle. So we will be limiting it. It's definitely going to be a first come, first serve. I will get out the seminar link where you can start registering and pre-register. So that way you can go ahead and reserve your spot. There is going to be a payment plan. It'll only be a 3-month payment plan. So I'll break it down where you can pay once all together, pay 2 months and split it up, or a 3-month split up. Just to make it easier, we do our best to try to make it the most affordable we can for everyone to come visit. So it's going to be September 15th, 16th, and 17th in Washington, D.C.
2 days after my birthday.
And a couple days before my birthday. So we're going to have like a birthday celebration.
I'll be 22. Yay!
And I'll be 18. No, you're going to be 45, right?
46.
46. Okay.
I'm not old.
46. I keep telling people you're turning 45, so I'm wrong. He's going to be 46. I'm going to be 36. So we're 10 years. I'm going to remember that. 10 years apart. All right. So that's going to be really fun. We'll get to celebrate, and we're going to have a great time. There's going to be lots of training going on. There's also going to be an option for people that are interested in getting certified in Ngo Dac Na to get a couple extra hours of semi-private training with us. And that will go towards your prerequisite to become a level 1 certified Ngo Dac Na teacher. So there'll be more details about that on the page as well. And basically, it's just a great time to come train, touch hands with us. It's not going to be like other seminars you've probably been to where you don't get a lot of one-on-one attention, or maybe you walk away just kind of not feeling like fulfilled or like you didn't get your money's worth. I promise you that we will over-deliver. Anyone that's ever been to our seminars before can testify to that. You get a lot of training, not just even in the seminar itself, but outside of the seminar, because you're going to be meeting other people that are like-minded. So there's going to be extra trainings that are going to be on the side. Sometimes we do trainings in our actual hotel room and crazy.
We
stuff
want to
like
meet you.
that. Yep.
You got the chance to meet us on video, but we didn't get a chance to meet you. So we would
Yeah.
love to meet you guys. We're a bunch of friendly people, despite how we look on video, but we're very, very nice, So we'd love to see.
Cause you any physical pain.
And the other thing is what's going to be really good is you're going to get that hands-on experience to really
Yeah.
understand truly the energy. And once you get that feel, you can start to really recognize it and help grow from that. So
Yeah.
it's going to be really, really helpful for you to understand all that stuff. And we're going to hit a lot of stuff, and we're not going to just tell you how to do it. We're going to have a point where we're going to help answer some questions that you have there and help demonstrate you may have a problem doing this or that. And we're here to help you, not just teach you. We're here to help you as well.
Absolutely. And I don't have the hotel yet, but I am finalizing all those details this upcoming week. So for those of you that, pre-register and everything like that, you'll be on the list, you'll get access to it. And then once I have that information, it'll also be on the seminar page. So you'll be able to go to entershaolin.com/seminar and get all the details. Right now, there is a survey up if you go there right now, because we were trying to see if anyone wanted us to do one in Pittsburgh. We got some interest. We'll see. There's a little bit more time for that one. That's in November. So we might still do that one as well. If not, we're still going to be there. And if you want to come and hang out and do like some impromptu training and stuff like that, we can obviously do that. Sifu Larry and I were talking about running out like a big suite again, like we did last year. So even if we're not doing a physical full seminar in November, we can invite everyone up and hang out, train, and there'll be plenty of room. So we'll definitely do something cool like that for sure. So yeah, September 15th, 16th, and 17th, definitely go to entershaolin.com/seminar. You can vote on the 2 seminars that we have up right now, whether you want to go to one or both. There's an option for that. And then later on today, that page is going to change, and it's going to actually have the Washington, D.C. seminar information for you to actually physically sign up and be able to reserve your spot, because max we're doing is 25, and that's just so we can keep it intimate, more personable, and make sure that everyone has a really great learning experience. All right, so that one is answered. We got that one. Melanie says, one of my students has anxiety that causes severe stomach pain and other problems. I think he's about 8 years old. What can I teach him to help him deal with his anxiety?
Well, anxiety is first mental. What
Mhm.
causes anxiety is you stress over things. Like one of my students, Andy,
Mhm.
he has anxiety when it comes to driving on highways and everything. And, there's something that the mind triggers the chemical in the body that does that to you. So, um, you got to find out for him what his anxiety is and teach him how to like learn how to handle it because it's mental first.
It's about facing it, really,
Y-
that anxiety.
Yeah, but some people can't face it because they
Yeah.
have this fear,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you got to get them to. There's, obviously there's diet to help control the body, but that's,
Mhm.
the body reacts to our brain. If our brain feels stress, our body gets stressed. If our mind is calm, our body can calm down. If our mind gets excited, our body gets excited. If someone just told you just won $100 million, oh my gosh, you get excited. What changed in the body was because of the thoughts in the mind.
Exactly.
I always say this, mind your thoughts because that responds your emotion. Mind your emotion because that responds your heart rate. Mind your heart rate because that responds your blood flow. Mind your blood flow because that responds your energy level. So what you think is how you feel. How you feel is how your body's going to respond. How your body's going to respond is going to either bring up your energy level or bring it down. So a lot of it is a mental state. But I recognize it becomes physical too. So sometimes people can't control that. And so there are things that people do,
Mhm.
like they take drugs, like the psychiatrist, they take this because it does chemically inhibit the body from releasing certain chemical to make the anxiety for the body react. So, but really, you can control that through the mind.
Yes.
He has to learn, like I would say, like a meditation, learn how to keep himself calm and learn to put that as his priority over anything he has. But there are some people can't handle it, and they're going to need other stuff. So
And there's a lot of natural stuff out there too. Melanie, I'm actually dealing with a lot of this with my daughter right now. We're actually seeing a therapist right now in regards to this because she's dealing with anxiety, depression, and all kinds of crazy things. And I actually found a company that has natural remedies to help children with different things from ADHD to anxiety to all kinds of mental stress. So there's a couple things like it's definitely mental, so there's that finding out different things like when he's feeling anxiety, what helps calm him down, what are things like for my daughter, art, dancing, exercise, these are all outlets for her.
mhm.
I'm teaching her qigong. I'm working with her with yoga as well because it's something that she resonates with and helps her feel more relaxed. And then diet is a big thing. If that child is being fed a bunch of things with high fructose corn syrup and
Ah,
a
never.
bunch of
Don't do that.
chemicals and fake colors and stuff like that, that creates stress in the body and creates anxiety and just like all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's three parts, the mental state, the diet, as well as moving the body. But I'll send you some different things as resources that you can share that I'm doing with my daughter that might help the parents as well as that child. So,
And just to let you know, the more he can find the outlet to build himself
hmm,
stronger, the less anxiety he's going to have.
right, that
So
self confidence.
he's got to find something that helps him alleviate that pressure
Yep.
in his mind, and that body will actually get stronger because of that. That it's just they are connected. Mind, body, spirit. We always talk about training mind, body, spirit. They are connected. You can't take one without the other. Take the mind away from the body; it's just a shell. So the mind stimulates the body, and his anxiety, whatever it is, I don't know, but we got to find some type of outlet for him. And you see
Yeah.
people all the time, like America's Got Talent. This that they go, I had this problem, and this was my way out. Dancing was my way
Right.
out, and you can see their life change because they had a way of taking that energy and put it to something that
Exactly.
builds them. And that's really we got to find out for him and help him that way. Yeah, for him, might be building blocks or
Hmm.
making origami or doing Tai Chi. Everybody's gonna have a different way that they can find that this relaxes them. This helps build them up. It calms their mind. It gets them to focus. Something where the mind and the body can work together is actually one of the best things you can do. That builds up that for them.
Yep, and I'll also send you, Melanie, the safety plan that I filled out for Jaya to help her go, okay, these are my go-to things when I'm feeling down or I'm feeling anxiety that I can go to help relieve those things. And that's something that the parent and the child can work together to figure out like what would be best. And it's something that way, because sometimes kids don't think about that, like what are the things that help me feel better or whatever. And if they have a safety plan, they always know like, okay, I can go to this, and these are the people I can talk to about my problems, and these are the things I can do to help relieve my anxiety and stuff. So sometimes it's as simple as creating that safety plan and those goals that really helps.
Last night, my daughter was having problems mentally and it was getting physical. And we sat down, we talked, and by the end of it all, like how psychologists, they help you to see. And if you can see the problem, you can understand the problem, then you can learn to correct it. And that's what we did. In the end, by the end of the time when we're done, she was much calmer and she was like, okay. Like she sees that, she was blaming us as parents, like we're too strict. And that's like, if you look, Lily, we have restrictions in your life, but we're not strict on your life. And that restriction, she sees it as like, oh my gosh, you're putting my life the worst. I've got the worst parents because they are so strict on me. It's like, do you get to go out? Do you go out with friends? You go to volleyball? Yeah, of course you do. So we ask you to come at 9 instead of 10. Everybody of my friends come at 10. I get to come at 9. I was like, listen, 9 o'clock is not too big a deal what we ask. And if you can show us that you're responsible to come home at 9 in time, you can go to 10.
Right.
And you got to understand that there's going to be boundaries, and because that's what we have for you as parents, that's what we set. Well, why can't I'm all the parents? I was like, listen, they can do what they want with their children, but listen, I'm a good girl. She goes, I'm a good girl. I was like, I believe you're a good girl. I trust that. I tell everyone you're a good girl. You're a great daughter, but I'm still your dad, and I'm worried, and I want to make sure that you can handle the smallest things. And if you can handle the small things, I can give you bigger things. And as you can prove that you can handle bigger things, I'll give you even bigger things. I'm not just going to be as a dad who's going to say, well, since you're older, bam, here's the hardest thing you can have and do, and then you can just do it. I want to build up that for her. I want to build her as a character. So everybody is different. And for this boy, find out what, I can't say find out, but when he has anxiety, pay attention. See when he has anxiousness on something.
Right,
and get his mind to focus. Yeah, and you find the trigger, and then you take that trigger and you get the aim, the focus to be on something. So when he has that, he turns something to this that helps him alleviate that.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, I'll follow up with you, Melanie. Melanie says, any news on possible seminar in Utah? I think that with the 2 seminars that we have already, we're kind of filled for this year. But what I'll do, Melanie, is
year's half over though. The new year's coming.
Yeah, and that's mainly because Sifu is going to Israel every other month, so we are kind of like a little, tight on space for that. But that might be something we can do in maybe spring of next year. I have to actually talk to David. I haven't heard from him in a hot minute. He was supposed to call me. So David, you're watching this, give me a call, brother, and I will let you know. But I'm thinking that will probably be more like spring of next year for that. So I'll totally let you know. Hey, Bob, good to have you on. No problem about being late, brother. All is well. All right. Russ said to Melanie, mindfulness training has worked for me in dealing with both anxiety and depression. I'm not sure how that might be applied to someone who is 8-year-old though. Mindfulness is always something you can start at a young age, definitely. So yes. That definitely follows along with what we did. Good job, Russ. That's awesome to hear.
Greg asked the question, I think.
Yep. Greg says, I have recently heard that standing on your toes activates all the tendons in your body. True or false? Please explain.
False. And the reason why is because when you stand on your toes, it's only from your legs down that's going to be the stress point. Because you're like ballet, you see that they're very graceful on the top, and yet, they're putting the stress on their toes. The only way that you can stress all your body and your tendons is actually like overhead pressing, when you're standing up, because that's pressure coming down and you're going against it from your full entire body. So that would be something that you would stress the whole entire body with, but not going on your toes and have nothing up here. Because I can be very relaxed and be on my toes. I'm not a ballerina, so don't. But you can be very tough. And you see they're always graceful with their hands, and yet their body's under the stress, for women, on their toes.
Right.
So, that's false. That's not true.
But it's a great stretch. I love that in the Qigong where we go up on our toes and stuff. I love those ones. So he also says, additionally, have a safe flight, Sifu.
Thank you. Keep me in your prayers.
Absolutely, we will. All right, so Melanie says, that's cool. I'm looking forward to when you guys come out there. Absolutely, we're looking forward to being able to come out there too. I've never been to Utah, so I totally am looking forward to that and getting to meet you someday soon.
Looking forward to tipping some cows. Never done that. I want to do that.
You want to do that?
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that to a cow.
He's like, I could see Sifu sneaking up on a cow and doing that.
I would eat it. It's food.
funny. Russ says, is it possible to briefly demonstrate, explain Pan Li and
Punching line, punching line.
Yeah, I'm not.
Basically,
That.
punching line is the
Thank you.
basic principles of Tai Chi. You know, roll back, press, and push. They're the motions that you do throughout your entire form. So it's Punji line is I forget how the order goes. Roll back, press, push, and withdraw. Roll back, press, push, and withdraw. Those are the 4 points. So your body learns to create curves. So these are the things that you want to do. And if you can see, when I do it, I send my energy from the ground, because you got to remember, your energy has to come somewhere when you move. And if you were floating in space, you wouldn't be moving forward. You couldn't move backwards because you have nothing to push from. So your ground, your root is your key. So the first thing that you want to have is why we stand like in Tai Chi, or we turn our hips and we bend our knees, because we have to have our root. That's the first thing that you have to have in order to have the ability to send energy to your hands and move back and forth. So rooting is very important, okay? And I always tell everyone, you know, and this is going to be a quiz, you know, in the future when, in the Ngo Dac Na course. There's only 2 ways to get forward energy, okay? You do it through the root, or you can do it through your leaning. Those are the only 2 ways. Look, I'm a leaning tower pizza. But there's only 2 ways you can get it. Oh, I lost my focus. So rooting is a very important thing. Okay, so in order to get your energy to move back and forth and get it in your wrist, root is absolutely the key. Leaning you can get to, but the problem with leaning is you start to overcommit and your body will start to stress to keep you stable. So rooting is the way you can move forward energy without having to stress the body. The second thing is there's the motions you have. What are the 2 motions you have that exist in the universe, right? There's linear motion and there's circular motion. Good answer. So roll back, press, push, and withdraw is basically the turning of the energy. So when we do things in Tai Chi, we constantly work on the circles of the hands. So if I do brush left knee, I have the natural turning of my wrist. Okay, that's your roll back. Your press is anything where you create pressure between your body. So a press is a small, close, tight quarter. You bring everything forward into your center. So when we're doing like press is this, when you create pressure, anything where you bring an arm from the shoulder to the elbow and then from the wrist too. So those are your press type of moves. This is the press, okay? So anything where we have this natural forward energy, snake spits out tongue is a form of a press in your arm, where you have that energy in your shoulders to the elbow. So that you got to put the pressure in the elbow, and you have to make sure the pressure goes to the wrist as well, okay? Withdrawal is the other one, where your body must learn to yield and create control off of that. So withdrawal is your yin, so to speak. It's your ability to absorb energy and redirect it. And then the push is your forward energy. It is what you are using to create your active movements, where you are creating pressure. You're creating forward energy to create an effect to get away from you, or get pressure away from you. So you have the ability to turn energy away, which is what the rollback does. It moves energy off the body. You have your press, which is where you create pressure from your body to the arms. Okay, the withdrawal is, again, turning energy or pressure off of your body. So it could be like this. Withdrawal is this. It's where you yield and redirect without necessarily having to turn. The rollback is where you turn energy off, where with the withdrawal is where you dissipate energy by yielding, by shifting your weight. And then the push obviously is your attack of any kind, like brush off knees, your push type of movements, where it's like a single hand movement, whereas your press is where it's your body behind that. So just think of it that way. Those are the 4 ways you break down your Tai Chi. You use the circles to create deflections, to roll pressure off the body through the turns. You use your withdrawal to yield to pressure and draw it down, not necessarily having to turn. You use your press, with your body gets together, tight to you, and your push is an extension with your arms. So those are the 4 basic principles that Tai Chi uses that you want to keep in mind when you're playing your form. But to me, I always tell people, listen, don't overthink. Okay, I always like to say, if you think, you stink. So right now, if you think, it's okay to think, but eventually you got to go from to feel to deal. And if you can learn to feel the deal, you make them squeal. That's what I say. So the basic thing that you want to have is to get the understanding of feel first. It's the feel that's more important. So many people have different variations of form. And I tell people, it doesn't matter how you move. Okay. Some people move certain ways. Some people have this, some people have that. It doesn't matter. As long as the principle is true and right, and you're applying to that principle, then it's fine. Everybody has different variations of what they do. A single whip might be like this for some people. Some people might have it a little bit bigger. But it's okay as long as it stays into the, let's say, if 10 is the perfect way to do it. Some people do 5 and 5 to keep it neutral. Some people, well, I actually 9 and 1 is better because, this is a 9-1. It's a stronger, heavier stance. You're more rooted. But you got to remember, wherever you gain on one side, you're going to lose on another. So it's always going to be a plus and minus somewhere along the lines. Even though I'm more rooted, I'm down, and I got more extension in my arms, you just got to remember, you're more susceptible to fall sideways. If you're thinner and tighter, you're harder to move sideways, but you're not going to be as strong as forward. So there's always going to be a plus and minus to everything that you do. And it's fine. As long as the principles work right, it's fine. Okay? So hope that helped. So I think the arm goes this way. There you go. There you go. And this down. There we go. We good. And this goes down.
All right.
That was a big question. No, you got your end question for the month.
No, I appreciate that, Russ, because I actually never heard those terms. So you're helping me learn, and I appreciate that so much. That was really cool. And I think you got everyone to ask questions. I really appreciate it, because if it's not helping me, it's helping the person that asked, and it's always helping someone else. That's why I say, don't be afraid to ask questions on different lessons and stuff in the comment section, because 9 times out of 10, someone else is going to have that same question eventually. So by you not being afraid to ask that question and be vulnerable like that, you're helping other people. So we definitely appreciate it. So I'm going to try to wrap this up. I know there's some questions we're not going to get to this week. I really apologize, but we do have to wrap it up. Can we go maybe 5 minutes over, Sifu?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Gil, you jumped ahead, brother. I got your email. Okay. No, I just hadn't got to your email yet. But he went to Sifu Larry and jumped ahead. I'm just messing with you, Gil. I love you. He says, I have a question about 3 proof. When driving the shoulder down, am I physically tensing the shoulder down, or am I focusing my mind to keep the shoulder down but without the tension? The reason I ask this is that it seems that physically tensing the shoulder down reduces speed and relaxation.
You should never tense. Simply put, the body should never be tense. It should be under pressure, but it should not have to tense. Now, I always tell people the body can be, it can feel stress, but it cannot strain. Okay. And to break the difference, if you're not sure, stress is pressure on the body, but you can handle it. Straining is when your body has a struggle to maintain that. So if you are straining, you're doing it wrong. It's okay to feel stress. When you're standing up, you're fighting gravity. Gravity is always pulling you out. Your body's always under pressure. It's made to handle pressure. That your body is supposed to have that pressure. If you didn't, you would basically die. I saw a video on what astronauts have to go through because there's no gravity. The body's not under pressure. They have to do certain exercises. Otherwise, they get lighter, or the blood gets thinner, the heart gets weaker. The pressure actually is what gives our body strength. The gravity. So your body's designed to take pressure, but it's not designed to strain. Okay, when you're straining too hard, then it becomes too much. So you don't want to strain the shoulders. You don't want to feel like you're trying too hard. Actually, I just had a student. I said, listen, I was just teaching yesterday. It was just funny because I was like, listen, you're doing the moves, but you're forcing the move. You're not allowing it to move. You're thinking, okay, push down. And instead of, let's just say my number so you can understand this, 5 is that relaxed state. You're trying to bring your shoulders down by doing 9. You're like, down, and you're forcing it. And it's okay in the beginning just to get you to understand how to feel, but you got to get it so it moves naturally, not so you have to force the movement. So, no, the answer is no. You don't want to strain the shoulders. It's wrong to do it in application. If you need to do that just so you can feel it, that's fine. Just because there's got to be a way to get your body to understand it. That's fine. But once you understand it, you have to learn how to get that to be natural, where it becomes fluid and not straining the shoulders. So as I was talking before, stressing the shoulders going down does not mean that you have to force it to the floor. Bringing the shoulders down to the elbow means that wherever my elbow is, I want to put it towards the elbow. So my elbow's here. I would bring it towards my elbow. If If my elbow's my center, then I bring it towards the center. If my elbow's here, I would bring it this way. It would not be to the ground or into your ribs all the time. It is wherever your elbow's at. See, my elbow here is on my side. I don't do this. That's not bringing the shoulders to the elbow. That's dropping the body down to the ground. This is short of the elbow. You can see I'm putting my shoulder elbow. So then elbow goes to the wrist, and then the wrist turns to point. So you want to be able to do it at any angle. If I'm like this, I do 3-proof. I do shoulder, elbow, elbow, wrist. So you can see here, shoulder, elbow, elbow, wrist, shoulder, elbow, elbow, wrist. It's not bring it down. That's just your mindset was like that when I say bring your shoulder to elbow, because you think your hand's down. So I got to bring it down. But in combat, your hands are up. So it doesn't mean that you bring it to the floor. Bringing it down means bring it to the elbow. I always say shoulder, elbow. I don't say shoulder to the ground. Shoulder, elbow. So if your elbow's here, then my shoulder would go to the elbow this way. So you can kind of see what I'm doing, shoulder, elbow. And then again, elbow to the wrist would be this, and then turning the wrist to the point. That would be the way you want to do it, not to the floor.
Absolutely. And, another thing that you can work on, Gil, is just like throughout the day, go, are my shoulders down? Are they down? Because that was the biggest thing. Like I used to be told, like, girl, you carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Like, because if anyone tried to massage me, they're like, man, your shoulders are really tense. So I was always aware of that from a young age. Like, wow, I have really tense shoulders. But I realized that like times 10 when I started doing my training, I was like, man, my shoulders are always up, because I started paying attention, like when I was driving or cooking or just anything, like sitting at the desk working on work or whatever. And I'm like, okay, shoulders down, shoulders down, shoulders down. And now it's a lot more natural. Every once in a while, I catch them going up, but just be a really good self-corrector, and over time it's just going to be natural, and you'll find when you're practicing that your shoulders are down. So keep up the good work, brother. Pam, I don't know if you're still on, but if you have we've got a couple more minutes. If you can let me know what that last part of the form you're speaking of is, we'll get to it on this one. If not, email me at support@entershaolin.com and let me know the specific part, and we'll make sure to take care of it next week for you. Oh, Bob said that he's done cow tipping before. He's a good old farm boy.
Moo.
Oh, Pam was talking about in the Silam Tao, the last part of the form.
The last part of the form, just before it punches this. This is called Tat Sao. So if this is what you meant, say yes.
Is that yes? Okay. Yep. She said yes. That's the last part that she's talking about. Okay, so when I did this technique with my son, it worked great, but when I tried to do it with my cousin, it didn't. I'm guessing that your cousin was probably stronger than your son.
I know what you did wrong, just without looking. I know what you did.
Let me get this.
Just to answer your question. When you're grabbing someone weaker, you don't notice it because they can't hold on. What you're intentionally doing first is actually you're pulling away from them. And so when you do it, they're
Let me get this.
They're going to naturally, instinctively respond by pulling your arm, and you're going to get stuck that way.
Ooh, that
So,
yeah, there we go.
So when you're doing this, if she had a light grip, give me a real light, you can pull and get away with that because they're not strong. But what happens naturally is you're going to give me a stronger grip, and you're going to when you pull backwards, you're going to respond with this pull against you, and that's going to pull you and you're going to throw your hands off. You are not to pull your hand backwards. You are to drive your wrist into their arm. So to exaggerate, you can see I'm doing this. That's way further than I should be, but you can kind of see the motion I'm doing. You're not going to do this and pull in. What you're doing is you're bringing backwards energy, and she's going to naturally respond by pulling the opposite. And since you're in your shoulders, you have no wrist control, and she's pulling from her wrist, you're going to be taken. Okay, just to let you know. The thing you want is to make sure that is to create that wrist forward. So you can see my wrist is going forward. So when she's doing this, I want to create this forward energy, not backwards. Backwards is a failure. Okay, I always like to say backwards is deathwards. So I want to go forward. And when I cut, I don't want to pull to hit. I actually want to go like this, and I want to pick down and create a curve in my wrist so I can hit it from the side of the arm to the top, to the side. And I just want to bring my wrist towards my thumb side. And she lets go. Okay, and the strongest people will let go. You're not hitting points. You're actually just going for motion. And I pretty much say, because that's what most people, they'll just do this. And you're hitting near the target, around the target, by the target, but not in the target. And that's basically what it is. Think of where I want to drive my energy towards her palm, so to speak. So just think like this. When you do that, you're going to hit that forward. It's going backwards. That energy is going to her shoulders. She's going to immediately lose that power control in her wrist. If you go this way, you're actually feeding it into her wrist. You're actually pulling her fingers, so she'll grip you back. you want to just create this turn, like this. So you can see like this. Yeah, so you're going to jerk it in your wrist. At the same time, this is going to go this way. And it's going to cut that energy that way. So when she's holding tight, she'll let go from that. Oops, sorry. Okay. You're creating a pull first over the drive first. And the second thing is, if it's on this hand, it's like, well, why don't she hold this? Same difference. Okay. This here, you want to make sure that you're going to attack where her wrist bends, not by hitting her arm and creating space. See, the more space you have between your arms, the less control you have. So when someone's hitting, you want to hit them where their wrist will create, you want to hit them along the wrist area. So all along the wrist is where you want. So if she holds on tight and I go like this, I'm not going to her wrist. I'm actually going towards her fingers. You can see I'm pulling. And what happens is that forward energy that I'm pulling for her actually is hitting up my arm a little bit. So if she pushes into that or pulls backwards, she can actually just cut away this energy and it's going to throw my body and my arm off. The goal is to do it where it doesn't affect you. So she holds on real tight. And I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to do it kind of slow. But if I do it like this and you see my action, it's going to be like that. You want forward. You want to send it into her so her arm naturally creates a pull away. Right. You go backwards, they're going to go forward and grip you from that and pull down into their wrist, and it's going to shut you down real quick.
Right. So if they're holding onto you too tight too, like ask them to loosen up because you are going to have to practice it and work your way up to being able to deal with a stronger grip. Yeah. So don't get discouraged and definitely listen to these tips. Watch the replay. Like maybe when you go to do the next time with your cousin, like watch this again so you can physically work on it while you're watching it. And what I want you to practice is trying to do this like this. 1, 2, small burst, like a snake coming out. Just snake it. Don't pull. I always say don't break grip, take grip. Okay, so when somebody grips you, don't think to get away from the grip. That's the worst thing to think of because you're actually going to create pulls. And there are 3 points on the hand that creates a grip, right? Your thumb, your palm, and your fingers. When you're creating a pull, you're going to their fingers. You're enforcing the grip. They'll naturally just grip tighter. When you go forward, you want to go forward because you want to get to the Y. And I always say Y because it works. And if you understand what the Y is, if you hold your hand like this, it looks like a letter Y. So you can see it looks here like a Y. You go to the Y. And the reason why you want to do that, because if you just squeeze in here, it'll divide your thumb from your fingers. And you're like, it'll make you want to open. So you always go to the Y. Why? Because it works. So don't go attacking their bones. Don't go attacking like this and hit their arms. Some people can be very strong and they can be very, yeah. So they can take it. That hurt my arm. Ow. But you don't want to attack that. You want to attack along the joints and tendons and everything where the points are susceptible. Because if I hit this and I make that bend, her wrist is bending from that. You can see her wrist goes and see her arm gets. So don't let me push you in if you can. I'm going to exaggerate this, but see, I'm going from here. But if I do this from the wrist, you see her shoulders get responded. Don't do it. But you see, so I want to create this forward energy. Yes. So I want to create forward energy. Now, if someone says, what happens if they go 2 hands? Grab 2 hands. Don't think, it's 2 hands. 1 hand. Still do 1 hand. It's just still attack it like it's 1 hand. It doesn't make a difference. So iron grip doesn't make any difference because, again, bent wrists don't make fists. Okay, if you understand that, somebody's hands like this, and you tell them to make a fist, they're never going to make a tight grip. If you press into their Y, they're not going to make a tight grip because if you divide this, the thumb and the fingers cannot close well. And so if you understand the anatomy of it and you understand how to hit those points, it don't matter. I have the strongest guys grip me and I break free easily because I don't try to pull. I actually try to go into them. I never go away. Going away is where you fail. I had people, big people. I have people. I'm like, man, don't hurt me. You're so scary. You're like that big and strong, and they're like, I'll grip you tight. I'm gonna hold you. I just and they just ow, and because it's about aiming for the point. Don't try to escape the grip. Take the grip. Don't break grip. Take grip. Your mindset, if you think to break, you always pull away, and now you got backwards energy, and you're trying to go forward while going backwards, and they're going to pull that backwards and take it, and it's going to disrupt your energy to go forward. There we go. Awesome. So I think
12:10 almost.
Yeah, it's almost 12:10. We'll sit back down real quick, and we're going to close up. And I think I put this the wrong way again.
Yeah. This way. This way.
We'll get used to this eventually here. All right. So we're going to go ahead. Oh, no. Don't worry, Pam. It's all good. She said, thanks. Sorry, Jamie. I was hitting the wrong place. Yep. Usually it's something simple as that, that you're hitting the wrong spot or pulling away. So that's what these webinars are for. And even like the question and comment section under each video, never be afraid if something's not working for you. It's generally because something's off and we're here to help you fix it. So no worries. I love training, and yeah, you're gonna get bumps and you're gonna get bruises. It is what it is, but it just makes you stronger and better. So
And eventually you create the bumps and bruises on someone else. She get good. No, but for those questions that you asked in the email or even here on the questions here, we didn't answer it.
We'll get to it next week.
Yes.
Yes. So I'll send out an email to those of you that we didn't get to and just let you know. We apologize, but Sifu has got to go. He's got to go on a trip. So for those of you that are praying types, please say a prayer for him and keep him in your prayers. Everyone's saying, have a great trip.
Thank you.
Gil Green says, Jamie has some cool ties on. Thank you, brother. I like them. They're pretty awesome. I'm digging them. Russ, he says, I'm glad my ignorance can be useful. Don't worry, it's not ignorance. You're just learning and growing. We're all learning and growing. No one knows everything, okay? So thank you for asking your questions, everyone. Karthik says, have a safe trip and enjoy. Have a great trip from Pam. Bob, be safe, Sifu. Thank you, everyone from Facebook and everyone that came on the webinar as well. We're going to do this next week. Sifu obviously won't be next to me, but he will be here with us from Israel. And if you have any questions, in advance,
Shabbat Shalom.
Yep, Shabbat Shalom, Itay. Yep, absolutely. You're going to get to see Sifu soon, so that's going to be fun for you. And yeah, if you have any questions, send it in to support@entershaolin.com. We're here for you. And if you want to check out and be a part of our next seminar, go to entershaolin.com/seminar. Right now, there's just a quiz, but yeah, later on today, there's going to be an actual where you can sign up for the Washington, D.C. trip. So I'll get that all ready for you. This replay will be out on YouTube at youtube.com/Enter Shaolin, and also on our weekly update that will be sent out later today. So if you're not on our email list, email me at support@entershaolin.com, and I'll make sure you get on it. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye. Thanks.